My name is Tanush. I'm into success factors from last 12 years. I've been to multiple implementations. I've done global country support and implementations. I handle RCM, LMS, and onboarding 1 and onboarding 2 as well. In success factors, I handle a team of people for the implementation currently, and I also take the training sessions in my time. I'm based out of India, and if you have anything you want to mention, please go ahead and mention. And if you have any questions, you can stop me at the session and you can ask me. So today we will talk about what is learning management system in SuccessFactors HCM suite. So it's one of the module in SuccessFactors. Like you may aware that SuccessFactors is a complete HCM product with different modules in the system. So all the data for an employee will be maintained in the employee central module, and all other modules are connected to the employee central to get the data from that. For example, let's say if you want to uh, rate your employee on an yearly basis or like quarterly basis, you are connected to performance and goals. So if you are hiring in the system and you have recruitment as a different module, so once the hiring is complete and you want to collect some documentation from the system, from the candidate, you can use the onboarding module. So once the employee joins, we typically perform his learning activities, like what training we should give that employee in a particular area, if it is a recurring training of it or it is a one-time training. Or for example, let's say if you want to conduct a training sessions on a weekly basis or a monthly basis, all based on, for example, let's say everyone is aware of AI, right? So a lot of organizations currently conducting sessions on AI. So all those sessions we conduct in the learning module. And then we have compensation, succession, payroll. These are all are part of our success factors HCM suite. So learning, when it comes to the learning, it's an integrated module. Actually, SuccessFactors has developed their own product, employee central, performance, recruitment, onboarding, section, compensation, and all. But learning is an integrated module. They have purchased from a different vendor and then they have integrated with the SuccessFactors HCM suite so that organization can benefit all the systems in one place. So when it comes to learning, you can assign the trainings for the candidate, for the employee to take. You can restrict the trainings in a specific laptops. You can also restrict the timing and you can also calculate how much time he actually spent on the training. You can conduct the exams, pre or post exams. You can also conduct schedules, like for example, instructor, like online classes where your instructor will be there in the system and they will teach you in the system itself. Or if you want to provide online, the employee can take up at any time of any time. And you can also uh, evaluate the students. You can trigger the survey about a particular training content. You can also track the cost. Let's say, for example, if you are aware of any uh, purchased learning systems, right? Like, for example, Udemy, Harvard Learning, you can purchase the trainings. Like that also, your organization can provide some trainings to you. And then you can assign the trainings on an automatic basis. Let's say a good example is that if you want to automate the system where if a new employee joins the organization, that new employee should get a particular list of trainings assigned on the day one. So some organizations, they have this legal and compliance things to monitor the employee, right? For example, in order for you to get a laptop, you need to complete the IT training. In order to you to get a ID card, you need to complete the operations training. Like that, they can automate the system, right? Once the employee joins your organization, system will automatically assign all those trainings and it will say that, okay, this training you have to take before these days. and these trainings you can take later on. So that kind of calculation also you can configure in a system. So this is just a kind of introduction to for you to understand what is success factors, how learning is used in success factors, what are the key terms in the success factors. Because if you are implementing a system, or if you are a support person, or if you are a admin person, you need to understand how success factors pronounce the key terms. So in learning, we have two types of users. One is a user. It can be employee, manager, or VPs, anyone. Basically, he's a user. So the role of a user is to log in into SuccessFactors, navigate to learning, take the training, and they will exit from the system. But administrators, they are the owners of the system. They assign the trainings, they remove the trainings, they run the reports, they add you the completions. If you face any issue while taking up the training, admins are the ones where we reach out to them. So admin and users, we have two different naming conventions to understand how the system behaves. Any question as of now before I move into the key terms? Okay, then I'll go ahead. If you have any question, please stop me. So as I mentioned, admin is the owner of the learning application. He creates the training, he edits the training, and he schedules the training in the system. So learning process. So we have different types of learning. If it is a single content, like content in the sense, it can be a PPT, it can be a video, it can be a PDF, where you have to open that particular content, you need to read through or watch it through, and then you will get the completion. So it's a content. So content can be, if it is a single content, you can assign based on an item. Item is nothing but a direct online content where you can, it's an individual, it's a single entity where you can configure one training in that item. If it is a curricula or a program, it's a bunch of trainings into one set. If it is a scheduled offering, we now call it as classes. It's basically you will have an instructor, they will book a room, and then they will teach you or they train you in a particular topic. So these are the main things: item, curricula, program, and classes. So
Hi,
learning need.
Tanis.
Yes.
I don't, please can you explain item content again? I don't really understand it. I
Okay.
don't really understand the explanation you gave.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let me, yeah. So if you see here, so item is a single course where you add the content to it. So when we talk about the hierarchy, content is the first one, where the content can be a document, it's a PDF, or it's a PPT or a video, where it's a called as a content. Basically the structure of your training program, what you want to show it to the users, that is content. How you assign that particular content to a user is used on item. So item is nothing but content is configured in the item. That item is assigned to the user, and the user we can track the user's completion. We can assign the item to them, and even once the user completes that particular training or course, we call it as item completion. So let's say, for example, you may ever write certification, success factor certification. If you want to take up a certification, first of all, you need to either you take up a training session. For example, ours is a training, right? So it's called an item. So our item is LMS training. So in this LMS training, you will have different contents where it can be user content, admin content, configuration content, implementation content. So like that. So once you have bunch of items, right? That will be again, you can assign using a program or a curricula. So for example, if you want to assign only one training to your user, you use item. If you want to assign more than one, you can use either program or curricula. See, a set of one or more items is curricula. So there are differences between curricula and program. In a live environment, we have different options based on your training needs, how you want to assign that particular training, whether it's a monthly or quarterly, or it should recur every year. Based on that training need, you assign a particular curricula or a program. So, but basically item is the main one. So before we go here, I'll show in the system. Then you will actually understand what is an item and what is a content. Our main learning page where users will land here, and from here they take up the trainings. So if we look at one particular training, this is called item. See, this one particular training is called item, where you will see the description and you will see how many hours it will be credited, and you will have an option of starting but that particular training as well. See, start course. See, this is a PDF where you can view through the PDF and then you can agree or disagree. So this is content. So in an item, you will have different types of content. So in this item, they have configured as a document. If they want to play a video, they'll configure a video. If they want to have a PPT, they configure a PPT. So based on that, it will open and it will show it to the user. So basically, the one that opens is called a content, and the one that is placed in it is called an item. So discrimination policy quiz is an item, and in that item, you will see one PDF document. So this is content and this
So
is
can
item.
we say that item is, so can we say that an item, no, a content consists of one or more items?
Item consists of one or more contents.
An item consists of one or more contents.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically, let's say we have 6 chapters. First chapter is anti-discrimination. Second chapter is policy. Third chapter is legal. So each chapter is one content, but all these are into one training session, that is item. Clear?
Yes.
So see, this is an item and this is a curricula. You can see the difference here. So if I go to the curricula, I just disabled the latest page. This is the latest page they have given in 2H 2024, where it will only show the required learnings in this page. All other learnings, we need to migrate it to the old ones. We have to disable here and it will migrate to the old screen. So this is old screen. So here, so these are all items and you will see curricula here in the red box. So if
So
you
we
go to
can
the,
say a curricula is a combination of items.
correct.
Okay.
Curricula or a program are consist of multiple items. So why we choose curricula or a program is if you want to have that particular training automatically assigned every 365 days, then you choose curricula. User needs to take only at once and there is no retraining is needed, then it's a program. So program or curricula, you can assign bunch of items into it. But if you want to have a retraining, you have to choose curricula. If you don't want a retraining, then you can choose program. Because curricula, we have configuration available where we can configure the retraining. It can be based on the completion date or based on the selection date, based on high date. You can configure 365 days and automatically once the date reaches, system will reassign the training to them. So best example is if you have legal policies or compliance policies or sexual harassments, code of conducts, all these company policies will be there, right? Where they ask the user, they ask the employee to retake every after certain period, then we choose curricula. If they want to just give a training to you, let's say for example, DevOps, AI, like those of trainings, then it's a program because employee can take it only once. No need to have a retraining. No need to have whether it can be employee can take up and again leave it in the middle. So that's a program. But curricula, once you assign, you have to complete it or your retraining will cause issues. Because for example, let's say we configure a training based on your completion plus 365 days. So if you have not completed it, the retraining also will not assign it to you and you will be out of compliance with your organization. So that's the reason. So curricula has more options. Program has less options. Here you can see the dates as well. It is 625 days overdue, 325 4 days overdue. So like that also you can configure in the system by when the user has to complete the training. And we also configure the reminder notifications. If he has not completed the training, system will send them the reminders every time. Like for example, if you configure every day they will get an email saying that boss, you have not completed the training. So once, until unless they complete the training, you send the reminders. And library. So difference between curricula and library is that curricula will be assigned to the user, whereas library will not be assigned to the user. It's user's self-choice. He can look at the library, he can pick up whatever the course he wants, he can assign it to himself. Basically, our outside library is also same, right? You go into the library, you pick a book and you take that book, but nothing is compulsory. You can leave without taking a book as well. So libraries are also same. All the courses that you want to assign, all the courses that you want to show to your employees as an optional course, you can keep them in the library and they can come and they can take the course. See, situation leadership, they can select and that particular course is will be assigned to you. See, already assigned. If it is a class, they'll have an option of requesting a class, like when and which place they need it. Because organizations will be multi-country, right? You located in one place, but your trainer is located in a different place. So in those cases also, you can request for a class and they will schedule online. And if your organization is likely to pay much, like for example, they target more on people's trainings, then they will purchase the training from outside vendors and they give you the option of taking that particular course from here only. Let's say, but best example is C, leading people. This training was provided by Harvard Business School. Your organization has purchased this training and they are giving it to you. If you want to take it, you can take this course. See, you can assign and then you will have the option of start course. So like this, you can customize the trainings, you can bring outside vendors into the trainings, and then you can assign those trainings to the users.
I Spanish. So
Yes,
when we say outside vendors, can we say LinkedIn Learning is an example of outside vendor?
yes. LinkedIn Learning, Skillsoft, all
Okay.
Skillsoft, Harvard Learning, uh, MOOC, Linda, all these are external trainings only. Any vendor who are having the right tools, like for example, to get the training into our SuccessFactors system, we have different options of connecting our system with that vendor. So if that vendor is having the capability of sending the trainings to us, then SuccessFactors allows it. Not only limited ones, any vendor that is available in the world which can send the trainings to our SuccessFactors system, we can integrate with them. So this is how our normal typical training will take place. And we have a different area for our learning administration. So in the learning administration, you can see manage user learning. You can assign the trainings, you can remove the trainings, you can change the dates for that particular training. You can send communication to them. All these are under manage user learning. Learning activities. If you see item, classes, programs, curricula, curricular requirements is also kind of a curricula, but you will have the option of choosing it. Let's say, for example, in your degree, in our bachelor's or degree, right, you can choose some subjects out of a pool. Like, for example, 5 or 6 subjects, you have to choose 3 subjects. So curricular requirement is same. You will be assigned with a bunch of trainings and within that bunch, you can select your required ones. Like for example, 2, 3, like that. And a collection. If it is a, if that particular trainings are part of some technology, we can create a collection saying that this is the technology and keep all the trainings in that collection. Or if you want to give the users an option of navigating to a different pages. Let's say if you're studying SuccessFactors learning and you want to read a blog or this blog is important for understanding SuccessFactors learning, you can give an external link in the training. Once you click on that link, a new blog will open. In that blog also you will have that related content. So libraries are nothing but set of all the items in the system and you can choose whatever you want. Competencies. So each training, each item is can be configured with a competency. Let's say skills and competencies you may heard in your organization, right? Every time now a lot of organizations are considering based on skills or based on a competency, whether you can do this job or whether you are having this skill or not. So each training you can configure a competency and once you complete that competent training, this competency will be completed and you can also send this training information to your performance forms in PMGM module, success factors performance module. So it's a real time. Once you complete the training, immediately the training will appear in your performance form. And that will be useful when you have the reviews with your manager saying that, boss, I have completed so and so trainings which are available in our learning content, which will be useful for our role currently in the organization. So that kind of interconnecting module connections are also available in SuccessFactors. And if you want to group some classes, like for example, training session 1 is today, training session 2 is after a week, and training session 3 is in after 1 month, you can group all of them and you can enroll the users into that. When it comes to the content, you can import the content into the system. It can be a PDF or it can be a recorded video. You can upload it in the system and you can configure. And if you want to have questions like exams, once you complete a particular training session, you want to conduct an exam. If the user is passed in that exam, then only that training session is complete for them. You can you can create the questions, you can configure the exams. And you can also take up surveys. Once the training is complete, you ask the user the feedback on that particular training. So that also you can configure. So people, so this is the place where all the employee central data of all the employees will sit in the users section, where you can assign the trainings, you can remove the trainings, you can see what skill set they are, or they are from which department, which division, everything you can see it here. So for example, let's say I have picked one user. So he is from the management and planning department, his email ID, his legal entity, which is company, who is his manager, and you can see all the details from the employee central module. If you don't have an employee central module, you can create this using an upload within LMS. But if you have an employee central module, you can connect them with LMS system, and every day you can schedule the data transfer between both the modules, saying that, okay, every 2 hours, your employee data should update in LMS, or every 4 hours, every 5 hours, because every day there will be people who is joining the organization. There will be people who is leaving the organization, right? You cannot maintain manually. So you can connect and a system will update real-time data every time, and you can see their number of items assigned to them. You can see how many completed, how many surveys he has completed. And for some particular trainings, you can also send for approval. Once your manager approves it, then only you'll be able to take up the training. So all these things you can do it from the user section. So I mentioned, right, finance. You can, for each training, you can configure the finance, and that finance, the amount, a particular training amount will be deducted from your cost center or from your department cost center. Or they can also have an option of adding credit cards, where they'll give you the payment gateway and you can pay on your own. If your organization is not giving it, you can pay. If the organization is giving it, it will be deducted from your percentage. So all the things which we talked till now can be configured under system administration, and mainly reports. Each and every data that you have, you assigned a training to a user, you can run a report and check how many users are still completed, how many users are still not completed that particular training, how many users are waiting for their approvals, how many users completed the surveys. All these will be under reports. One thing with comparison to SuccessFactors reporting and LMS reports is that SuccessFactors reporting, like Employee Central, Recruitment, Onboarding, you can create your own report. But LMS, no. Only you can use the predefined reports that SAP has already given it. If you want to have a customization, that's all different picture, where you need to have a plateau report designer. You need to design that report in SQL and then upload that report in the system using an import option. So that's different because it's an integrated system. It's not a direct system developed by SuccessFactors. So that's the reason we have limitations in terms of reports. Any questions so far?
Hi, Thanos. This is Temitaria. So you said reporting.
Yes.
I'm really concerned about that because in story reporting, we have the learning. Does that mean that we have learning reporting, story reporting? Does that mean that all the features we have here, they will not be available in the story report, in the learning story reporting, in people analysis?
Sorry, I didn't get your complete question.
Okay,
In middle, I'm not
okay.
clear what you're asking.
Yeah, I don't really understand the reporting part of learning
Mhm.
because I know that there is also learning available in story reporting and the people analysis. So what is the difference between the learning story reporting and the reports we have in the learning
Story
administration
reports.
itself?
Story reports.
Yes.
So a lot of people till now are complaining about LMS reports because you need to have a SQL developer and you need to import the new created reports in the system, then you have to run it. That cannot be done by end users, right? For example, you mentioned you are from HRIS. You cannot develop a report. You need to have a specific admin. You need to request that admin. That admin has to develop that report in SQL and then use it in the upload it in the system, and then you can run the report. This is a long process. So after so many complaints, now what SAP has done is that if you enable story reports, which are part of people analytics, then you can create your own reports. But currently we have still limitation in the story reports as well, people analytics reports, where all the tables are not available. Only some are available. Let's say, for example, best example is finance. If you want to run any finance related report, currently they are not available in people analytics. They are only available within LMS. If you want to customize, again, you need to depend on Plateau report designer. So basically, SuccessFactors team is evaluating it and they are giving a lot of options now. But for this people analytics, we have a lot of prerequisites, right? You should have an identity authentication configured. Then only you can enable people analytics and you can use people analytics. So a lot of organizations still not enable the identity authentication. A lot of organizations still not enabled people analytics. So people are still dependent on LMS reports only.
Okay, thank you.
So as part of our training sessions, it will be a 1 day, every day weekdays. And if you are interested, we can also take up in the weekends as well. And we will discuss all the points, all the configuration related, how to implement the system, what to enable in the system, how to configure the data in the system, how to run the reports, how to connect your employee central system to your LMS system. All these things we will discuss one by one in our training sessions, and how you can implement the system. What are the different things you can implement in the system, and how an implementation process will flow in the system, and what are the different things that are needed for you to get trained on success factors. All these things we will provide during the sessions. We will provide you the links, and all we have a implementation guide. I'll also discuss how to fill the implementation guide, like basically requirement gathering document, where you can collect this requirement document from your client and you can configure the system. So all the admin guides, everything will be provided. And as I mentioned, it will be an interactive session. I'll be explaining what kind of support tickets you will get, how you will face challenges in the implementation, and what are the different things are needed in the implementation. All the things we will cover regarding our LMS system. Some things like vendor integrations are not covered because we need a vendor, we need their credentials to configure in the system. But I'll show you how to configure that vendor. How, if your vendor has shared a credentials to you, I'll show you where to configure that. But on a real-time basis, some things are not shownable in the test systems. because we need the vendors, we need the license, everything that should be required, right? So those things we will not cover. Apart from it, we will cover everything. All the things that you see in learning administration section, we will cover in our training session. And all the things you will see when you navigate to the learning, how you assign a training, how you create the training contents, everything I'll show in the system. So,
How long
Tanush,
is this training going to take?
sorry, there is a voice clash. Can you repeat, please?
How long is this training going to take?
Roughly 25 to 30 hours.
Okay, so
Depends.
that's about a month.
A month, yes. More than a month, because we are talking about a weekday sessions, right? It will take around 1.5 month in a month.
Okay, okay.
Yes, Bashir.
Are we going to
Tanush, yes, let her talk. Can I?
yeah, talk.
Yes, yes, Tanush. Do we have a content or only the skeleton only? Or
No,
do
no.
you mentioned about purchasing the courses or everything? Are
Yes,
there
yes,
standard courses there available in standard LMS system?
yes. I'll show you how to configure purchase things. I'll show you how to configure the price of a particular item, and also show you what are the different types. For example, multi-country organizations, right? You are in US, I'm in India. I configure the Indian price, and it will should be converted into dollars. All those things also we will show in this in the training session.
Now, my question is, are there inbuilt training content in
No, no,
standard
no, no.
LMS system?
When no, or everything will be blank.
So we can build up a course. For example, we want to have some PPT and some
You can,
document, and
yes,
we want to build a course. And
yes,
we can plan questions and exams and everything for
yes,
the courses we design.
yes.
For example, I can use end user training, and
Mhm.
then if they complete, I will give a small test also.
Yes,
So
we
all
can
those can
configure.
be configured, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
Okay, the timing will be the same.
Timing we will let you know based on everyone's interest. We'll fix up a training timing. So basically, we are thinking about this time only. Or if someone says like, if everyone agrees, we'll move a bit 1 hour before or 1 hour, 2 hours before, like that. So if you can see, right, you can upload a zip, you can upload a PDF, you can upload a document, rich text, HTML pages, Excels, PPTs, MP4 videos, and MP3 audios as well. So
Okay,
all
are we
these
going
can
to
be.
have are we going to have a demo system access?
Yes, we will give the demo system access.
I heard that LMS don't have a demo sometime before you some
The
months before.
reason for delay of these LMS training sessions is to unavailability of demo sessions. We got it now, and we are now
Okay,
ready to take the sessions.
okay. Do you
Recently,
think that
SAP has
after completing?
changed. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Do you think that after completing this course, we can do implement in any
Yes.
organization ourselves?
Yes.
So I mean to say, shall we go in depth of each and every configuration so
Yes.
that we will be able to do our own configuration?
Yes.
So, for example, the reason I asked me that in my company we don't have any problem, we don't have any program to do the course in the near future. So I will have a system. Maybe I will try to do myself. Is it possible? Maybe
Yeah, that's what
you
I'm
have.
saying, right? During the course of during the training session, we will give you access to this system only, and you can
Okay.
test, you can create, you can play around, you can look around what are the options, what are the different things available, everything. We will give you the access. We won't give you
Okay.
limited access. We will give you full access to the system so that you can play around, you can understand the system, you can understand the navigation. That is more important, right?
Are there academy available SAP Academy? There are some SAP Academy where there are exercises, solutions, and all those things.
Earlier
Is it
we
available?
used to be, but now it's all part of Learning Hub. If you have the Learning Hub license, you can take up the academy.
There's no academy,
No.
PDF document like they did earlier.
No, they have everything. They have now embedded into Learning Hub. You have a complete training program for LMS where you have videos, you have job aids, you have documents, you have some PPTs, everything. It's like around 96 hours of training.
There's a training course itself in the Learning Hub.
Everything, training, how to create the content, steps, everything is there now. Everything they have added into one particular program.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Hi Tanush, this is Jitendra.
Hi, Chitendra.
There is some technical glitch at my side, so I joined a bit late. So I do have a couple of queries. So
Sure.
first is, can you share the course content in detail, what we are
Yes.
covering?
Tomorrow morning you will get it, the course content.
Yes.
Yes.
And also, my vision is just to understand the entire LMS system. So after this course, need some bit confidence that we can go ahead with the, just like Bashir's question, that independently
Yes.
we can just configure the LMS system.
What I require from your side is that once I complete a class, spend some time in the system. You log in into the system, spend some time, you understand the system, what it is there, what I navigated in the entire session, you can navigate, and you can also parallelly read the implementation guide. So once your training sessions are complete, once you complete those implementation guide along with my videos and all, you will be able to do whatever you want. It can be an implementation or it can be a support.
Yes, but can you just plan after every session or every topic, you just give some exercise for us? So at least that will help us to just do practicing the instance.
Yes. See, same thing. If I create an item, right, you create your own item after the session.
Okay.
And if you face anything, ask me in the next session. Because today I'll create an item and you want to practice after a week or 2 weeks, you may forget, right? And you will not get the chance again to ask me.
Yes.
So that's the reason. If whatever I do in the session, repeatedly do the same thing when you are getting a time in before the next session. And in the next session, you can ask the questions. I'll show you where you are stuck, or you can show me what you did and I'll explain what, okay, you did this one and you missed this step, or you need to still go ahead. All those things I'll let you know. Because I can teach, I can show you, I can give aids, or I can give the exercise, everything. But unless you log in into the system and do those exercises, even you or me will be stuck if you ask anything.
Yes, I understand. Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions before we wind up the session for today?
When is the training starting?
I'm sorry. I think your voice is bit not clear. Sorry, you are saying something.
I said, when is the training starting? What day? Is it next Monday, 2 weeks time? When are we starting?
If you are all okay, we can start from Monday onwards. I don't have any issues. So Krishna will reach out to you and you can get in touch. And if you are, he will ask you individually what is your preference and all. And if you are all okay, I can start from Monday onwards.
For me, I'm extremely busy schedule right now, and probably I may prefer the following Monday, not the next Monday, the week after, if everybody is fine. Or if anybody is rush, maybe I can also adjust.
I think let's go for coming Monday. That is my preference. From
Means
within,
day after tomorrow.
yes, 4th November.
4th November.
So we can just togetherly decide on the timings, but I'm fine with the coming Monday, which is 4th.
That's fine. Krishna will reach out to you and he will discuss with you and we will decide from Monday onwards. Okay.
All good.
For me too, I'm
Okay.
fine with fourth.
You are also fine with fourth. Okay. And then
Yeah.
Bashir, maybe you need to adjust some time for us.
Yeah, actually, I'm running in out of running in with a project.
Okay.
I don't know. I will be able to adjust. We'll discuss. Okay.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Thanks
If
for
I
joining.
miss any
Yes.
class, you will be sharing the recording also. Is it?
Yes.
So it doesn't matter. So that we can have a small question.
Sure. No problem. Okay. Thanks for your time on a Saturday.
Thank
Have a
you.
good weekend. Sorry, Sunday, and we'll discuss and we'll let you know from Monday onwards. Schedule.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you all.
you.
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, good evening.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Thanks for confirming. Okay. Before we start today's session, I just want to understand what is your level in success factors. Can you tell me one by one? Yesterday, Timothy has informed that she is working on HRIS. Jitu,
Yeah, hi all.
hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Jitu, can you start? Can we start with you? Like, what is your understanding on success factors?
Yes. Actually, I have almost 10 years of experience in Oracle HR and payroll as a functional consultant. And I do have exposure on Employee Central module also.
Okay.
Willing to learn LMS end to end.
Okay. So your Employee Central, basically you took the training or you have hands-on experience?
I do not have any certification, but overall I have idea on Employee Central concepts also.
Okay.
Not, but I understand Employee Central high level.
Okay. Thank you. Mamata?
I am working as a LMS administrator in a private company. I had experience with Skillcast and Credo LMS. I
Okay.
completed SuccessFactors Central with HCS long before. I'm interested in learning, explore how LMS will be in SuccessFactor, and I'm keen to learn SuccessFactor.
Okay. Thank you. Gaurav?
Yeah, hi. Basically, I have experience of around 16 years in managing the HR and HR packages, basically. So I have
Okay.
exposure to Oracle, SAP, to some extent SF as well. I just completed SF Employee Central training. So I had a hands-on on a instance which has been shared by your one of the training partner only.
Okay.
So like I'm in a progression of learning more modules of SF because I'm just getting into one of our biggest project which have around 10 modules of SF.
Oh, that's good to hear.
That's what the intent is. Actually, I never
Okay.
come across with such a big SF suite. So we have recruitment, marketing, LMS, compensation, performance, succession, payroll is about to be coming. So just like that.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, I think you have seen my demo session. So my name is Tanush. I have 12 years of experience. I have worked into.
Sorry, Tanush, I'm really sorry. I haven't seen it because before yesterday is a festive time. So you need to excuse me. Honestly, I have not.
No problem. So I'll start with my introduction itself. So I have 12 years of experience.
Bashir also here, Sir Tanush.
Hi, Bashir. Yes. Yesterday you
Very
have
good.
introduced yourself. Yeah. So
Yeah. No issue at all. We know each other.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I have worked in RCM onboarding LMS. I've done multiple country implementations and also support. So this is my fifth company in SuccessFactors, where I'm currently working as a lead consultant for LMS and RCM modules. So usually I am based out of India. My work timings are from regular shift. So and other times I take up the trainings and also support people for all the three modules, RCM, onboarding, and LMS. I'm certified in all the three modules, additionally with all other modules as well. I have other modules knowledge. While implementing it, I got the knowledge of EC, compensation, PMGM, and everything. So it's not my main modules are RCM, onboarding, and LMS. If you have any questions, you can ask in the middle. I'll stop the thing that I'm explaining and I'll resume it, because understanding the system or the terms are more important at the initial stage, because once you understand the key terms and all, it will be easy for you to grab on and take it. And my other request is that we will share the implementation guides, workbooks, and all. So once the session is over, I would like you to take some time and check what I have done in the system, and you can perform the same in the system that we provide access, so that it will be easy for you to understand. And if you have any questions, we can discuss in the next session. So with this, I'll start with today's session 1 for LMS. The first and foremost thing I wanted to explain is that unlike other modules like EC, RCM, PMGM, compensation, LMS is a third-party tool which was acquired by SuccessFactors, and they have integrated with SuccessFactors. This is not developed by them itself. It was developed by some other third party, and then they have integrated it. So in SuccessFactors HCM suite, other modules, the configuration and the data transfer between the modules will be a bit easy. But in terms of such LMS, we need to create our own things within LMS structure only. So that's the reason we are dependent on EC, but there are systems without EC as well. So it's LMS is an independent module. Whether you want to connect your module with other modules, it's fine. Or if you want to run LMS standalone for any organization, yes, you can do that. And also, if you don't have an EC, then if you want to connect with your Oracle system or SAP systems, that option is also available, where we get the data on a regular basis from those third-party systems. It can be any system. Only thing that we need from that system is that all the employee information, all the data that needs to be in LMS, we get it from a third-party tools like CPI or Boomi. They will place the file in the particular folders, and LMS have the capability to pick the data from a folder and then update the data within SuccessFactors LMS. So that's the reason. It's up to you. When you are configuring it, you may depend on an EC, or without EC also you can do it. So in terms of LMS, within SF suite, we can connect LMS with EC and performance management module. So EC, we depend on employees' data. Like for example, when is the employee hire date, his email ID, his manager, his cost center, his department, his job information, basically, whatever the job information that we have, and we want to automate our LMS system for the trainings. So best example is whenever a new hire joins the organization, immediately we can automate the system to assign from trainings based on his hire date. So in EC, we capture the hire date, right? For example, 5th of November. So we get that 5th of November. Once the employee is active, trainings will be automatically assigned. Or if you want to assign some department level trainings, let's say, for example, HR, we have some trainings called HR, like bunch of trainings, maybe 10 or 15 training, which you want to assign to the new HR members. So based on department, we can automate the system saying that, okay, if department is HR, assign these trainings. So no need to manually assign your trainings on a regular basis. We can automate based on the data that we are getting from the EC system. There is no limitation of how much data we can get from EC. We can get 100 columns, we can get 2 columns. It's up to the requirement of the organization. So that's the reason we are connected to EC and we are connected to performance. The reason why we are connected to performance is that once your training is completed, we can send that training completion to performance module, which will reflect in the employees' performance forms. Saying that, for example, some organizations, they will say that per year, you need to at least complete 80 hours of LMS trainings. So it will be like a one particular goal for that employee in a year. So what we do is that we connect both the systems. Employee can self-assign the trainings and he will complete those trainings. All the completed list of trainings will be available in the performance rating form, which can be rated by their managers. So that's the reason we also send the data to performance. So EC and performance, we send the data from our system, from LMS system basically. Any other module, there is no direct integration. If we want to integrate, either we need to use integration center or any other third-party tools using APIs. APIs are nothing but to connect your SF LMS with any other module or any other system. So this is the background of LMS. So when it comes to SuccessFactors system, we have two types of servers. One is DC preview, that is data center preview and data center production. So some organizations, they say is test, QA, dev, it's up to them what they name. And some organizations will have stage and production in the same data center. So basically, based on your URL of the organization, you will understand what is that server and where it is sitting it. So if it is for like, let's say for example, if it is HCM 12, if it is a production, you will have HCM 12 SAP-SF. Or if it is a preview, you will have HCM 12 preview. So based on the URL itself, you will understand whether it's a preview or a production system. So the reason why I'm explaining is that even for LMS also, we have releases. So every year, 2 releases will happen from SuccessFactors side where new features will be provided and some features they will modify it and some features they will remove it as from the system. So first it will be applied to the preview system and they will give 5 weeks of time before they move those changes to production system. So that's the reason we have two types of systems called DC preview and DC production. Depends on your organization's purchase from SuccessFactors, you may be allotted with different servers across the world. So far, we have around 54 locations for SuccessFactors. It starts from DC1 to DC54. So it depends on the bandwidth. It depends on your organization's purchase. They will allot you the server. But for LMS, we have additional servers which will help us to store our data. So the reason why we have additional servers is that LMS content can be a PDF, Word document, PPTs, videos, or some interactive created content called AICC or Scrum, which we can make it more interactive way where content developers will develop the content. So all these contents will be of very high size. So that's the reason LMS will not save any content in their servers. They will be stored in a different server and front-end system will call that server and then it will display the training for you so that your training will not have any delay. So that's the reason we have a content server as well along with the main server. So content server also, they will allot you, if it is a test system, they will allot you the test content server. If it is a production system, they will allot you production content server. And if you want to get any data from third-party systems or from any other modules, we have SFTP servers also allotted by SF for LMS, where the third-party system will place the file in a CSV format in the SFTP server, and LMS has the capability to pick that CSV file and update our records in LMS. So that's the reason normally any other module, we will only have two servers, like the front-end server and SFTP server for the file transfers. But for LMS, we have an additional server called content server, which will only content will be stored. We don't store any PDF. We don't store any configuration related to SuccessFactors LMS in the content server. So that's the reason this is important when we understand it. Even once we go into the system, right, we have the content servers as a separate structure. Before we upload it or before we start our implementation, the first and foremost thing is to add your content server, which is provided by SAP. So here they will give you the location ID, host name, port, username, password, URL, all these details they will give you when your organization purchases the LMS server. So you need to add them and click on add. So from then, all the content that you upload into SFLMS will be stored in that content server, which we will discuss in the next classes. So, but first thing is to understand the content server. So at the implementation, when you got the system, this is the test steps you need to do to add the content servers. Some organizations, they use SF content server. They can also use their own organization server. That also you can add it here. There is no restriction that you can only use SAP servers. No, you can also have your own servers of the organization and you can give the details. Why some organizations do that? Because SAP gives 1 GB of initial free server space. Once you reach that 1 GB, right, they will ask you to pay on a yearly basis to extend the spaces. So big organizations, they have their own servers, right? So that's the reason they do their own servers rather than depending on SAP. If your organization is big and you have a partner like gold or diamond license with SAP, they have the option of giving it to 50 GB as well. But it's all depends on the organization's license with SAP. So if you want to check, we have an option called environment. In the environment, we can see for this system, they have given 10 GB of server. And you can see how much GB is stored, is utilized by your organization. So if you are see that the limit is reached, you have to reach out to the SAP again. So first thing, we need to enable the configuration once your organization purchases the SFLMS, right? So this is provisioning system, which is backend. And this provisioning system access will be provided only to certified consultant. If you need to have an access, you need to at least get a certification in any of the module, then you can get the provisioning access, because LMS, EC, all other modules will use the same provisioning access. There is no difference. So once you will have login into the provisioning, you have company settings. So once it logs in, see, enable SuccessFactors Learning integration. So you need to enable this integration and then you need to give the LMS URL. This URL also will be provided by SAP only. So all these things, if you are aware or if you are implementation time your admin or client gives you the information, that is fine. Or you can raise an SAP ticket in SAP for me where they will give you the details. So this is integration URL and this is API URL. Once you enable and add these two URLs, then you will see the system in the front end.
Hi, Tanush. Please,
Yes.
can you tell us the difference between integration URL and integration API?
Yes, this integration URL is within the SuccessFactors module where you will go here and you can search for learning, right? So once you click on it, the integration URL will come into picture and then it will show the LMS system. The API URL, if you want to get any data from third-party systems, you need to give them this URL. Most of the times it will be same. In some cases, it will be different. So if your third-party system want to send any data, you need to give them this URL and they will use this URL to send the data to SuccessFactors LMS. So that is API URL. API is nothing but the protocol that we use to connect our SuccessFactors to any third-party system. This API is used in all the modules. Clear?
Yes, thank you.
So this is the first step, enable SuccessFactors learning integration. And then third-party cookies. So if you want to have third-party cookies enabled, then you can enable it here. If you don't enable this one, then your browser third-party cookies should be enabled. Then only your LMS will open. If you don't enable this and your third-party cookies also blocked in your browsers, your LMS will not open. So that's the reason we suggest enabling this, because employees will take up the trainings from different, it can be different systems or it can be different computers. Sometimes they take from their own computer, sometimes they take from office laptops, sometimes they take from office training rooms. So cookies may be enabled or may not be enabled. So that's the reason we always suggest to enable this one. This is basically to store the cookies. Why we store the cookies? Because once you open the training will be running for one hour, 2 hours also. All this time your session should be active, right? Or else it will say that your session is inactive and your completion will not record in sometimes. Because any website, if you open and you log in, it will have some timing. After some time, it will automatically log out. So that's the reason if you have the cookie and that cookie is saved, your session will continue and your training, even if the training is 10 hours, the session will still go ahead. And once you complete the training, it will take the recording completion. And if you want to have this learning permissions in RBP, ECRBP, where we can give two types of permissions. One for user learning, where you go here and take up the training. And the second one is learning administration, where admins will configure the system. Admins like us or some people from the business also will have this access. And in our cases, like in an LMS, what happens is that they will identify one department admin for assigning the trainings. Though that department admin will take care of the trainings of all the department, whether assigning or removing the trainings, everything he will really take care. So instead of coming back to consultants, they will have this access and they will assign the trainings directly. So we will teach them how to assign the trainings and they will assign the trainings. So next. So enable external learning users. So external learning users, internal learning users. Internal learning users are nothing but your own employees, where they will have access to SuccessFactors and they will come to learning from SuccessFactors itself. You're like your own employees, like permanent employees. But there are big companies where contractors will also be there, right? For contractors, some companies say that we don't want their record in SuccessFactors, but they need to take the trainings. So this option, enabling the external learning user, once you enable it, right, they don't need to have an account in SuccessFactors. They can use their own account. They can create their account, like register an account, and they can log in into SFLMS directly. So no need to have an employee account, no need to maintain their SSO credentials, no need to have their company email ID, nothing should be there. They will have their own companies. For example, I'm a contractor. I am from Accenture. I'm supporting for a company. So with Accenture email ID, I can create an external learning account and I can log in and take up the training. I don't need to be maintained in EC and I don't need to be maintained for performance reviews, nothing. I'm a contractor and that contract will end anytime, right? It can be in 1 month contract, 2 months contract. So you don't want to create their profile in EC and then give them access to SSO and all, single sign-on. So this feature will help us self-register. See, this feature enables external persons to self-register as a user and log in into learning. So why this is not mandatory to LMS is that some companies only will have external learning users. Most of the companies will have internal users only. So for internal users, we don't want external learning access to be enabled. So that's the reason it is optional. If you want to have it, you can enable it. Next, instance refresh. So let's say for example, our implementation is 1 year old. Okay. And our test system is configured maybe 6 months back. And you want to have the complete data of production to a test system. And you want to run some projects or you want to test something. So this option of enabling instance refresh for learning is that you can do the instance refresh from SF where all your production copy will transfer to your test system. So that test system will have the actual data and you can test new projects. So normally instance refresh is mostly used by other modules like EC and all, but LMS also we have the option. But again, it depends on the size. It depends on how much data you want to transfer. For example, some cases, some organizations will say that we don't want LMS data to transfer. We want only EC data transfer from production to test system. Then no need to enable this one. So this disable learning native pages. Native pages is nothing but self-registration accounts. If you don't want it, you can disable it. So user cannot self-register, but an admin can register the user on behalf of the user. So that's another option. We'll discuss that. So other things are not needed from the provisioning side. See, some provisioning features, they say that deprecated, so no longer available. See, deprecated, do not enable them. So earlier we used to enable here. Now they have removed it. So before I go into content, any questions?
What all you explained now? These are implementation or just check-in?
Implementation. Steps when you implement the system, like when you get a blank system, right? Everything will be blank in the SuccessFactors system. Nothing, yeah, one user or one content, nothing they will give you. Everything it will be blank and you need to create one by one.
Done.
Yeah.
So those are the option we have to enable or disable. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Good.
Gaurav, I see you are unmuted. Any question? Okay.
Tanush, how did you
Yes.
reach this page?
Yes, I'll tell you that. So first, this is our SuccessFactors homepage, right? So here we have two types for learning. One is a learning where to take up the training as a user. It's not a configuration. Let's say, for example,
Hello, you are unmuted. Sorry, you are muted. Anush?
Can you hear me? I lost the signal, I guess.
Yeah, now fine.
Okay. Let me come back. So for a normal user, like a normal employee, he will come to learning and he will take up the trainings from here. He will start the course, he will look at the course and he will complete the course. And all the other details which is useful for a normal employee, like what are the trainings he has completed, if you want to run some reports, and what are the trainings that have a due date. As a normal employee, not an admin, just a normal employee, you will see from the learning side here. And if you are an admin and you want to configure something, then you need to search for learning administration. See, learning administration. So once you click on learning administration, it will navigate to the configuration page. So this is admin area for LMS. Normally, if it is EC or RCM, you will go to manage templates, all those things, right? Manage templates, form templates. So those are the transactions for all those modules. But for LMS, everything will be under learning administration only. Because as I mentioned, it's a third party integrated. So if you see other pages, the look and feel will be different, and LMS administration, the look and feel will be different. So in the here, we have different options for the configuration. So first today, I'll go with the content. So here, content is nothing but the training that an employee takes up. It can be a video, it can be an audio, it can be a document, it can be a web page, it can be a zip file, it can be a PDF also, where he will open that particular content, he will read through all the content and he will complete it. So basically, content is nothing but whatever the employee takes up, that will be the content. So here you can directly upload the content from LMS itself. No need to go to our content server. From here, once you have the deployment location configured, you can use it. So for example, let's say I'm selecting one document. So I want to upload this PPT. So I select that PPT and then click next. So here it will ask for some details. First is launch URL. So launch URL is nothing but once you open the content, it will show the URL of which area it is navigating. Just remember these things. And again, I'll show you in the content area when we take up the LMS content. So here launch area is nothing but a prefix. Basically, it can be HTTPS or HTTP, or for example, let's say we can integrate our system with other third-party LMS systems as well. Like for example, Harvard Learning or LinkedIn Learning. So LinkedIn Learning will give you a URL / your company ID. So your content is hosted in LMS, but you want to view the content in LinkedIn Learning because that content was developed by LinkedIn. So in those cases, you will give the prefix URL. So this will be static. And once you have the content, the other content in the LMS will add it here. So domain. So domain is nothing but our RBPs basically. So India content, Indian training should be visible to Indian people only, right? Likewise, US training content should be visible to US people only. So in this case, what we do is that we create a separate domain for US, we create separate domain for India. Then Even at the time of permissions also, we give in the same way, saying that, okay, Indian people will get the Indian domain assigned and US people will get the US domain. And if the training is public to all the people in the organization, like it's an open one, then we give it as a public. And package ID. If your content, for example, let's say compliance.
Tanish,
Yes.
because I don't really understand what you explained last.
These are all interconnected. I'll show you
please
when
explain again?
That's what I'm saying. These are all interconnected. I'll show. Now I'm explaining what are the minimum things that we need to have a content. And then when I launch the training, you will understand what it is getting. Okay. Just bear with me 10 minutes. Okay. So if you want to give access to mobile, that content should be visible in mobile SF app also, then you need to enable it. And if you want to give access like an offline player, when the internet is there, the content will download and you can run without internet as well. And when you open the content, it should open in a new browser, then you need to enable this one. And if you want to use AACC Scrum, AACC Scrum is nothing but it's a content. Normally PPT is one type of file, right? AACC is also another type of file where you will have interactive sessions. Let's say, for example, if you click S, a pop-up will open. If you click no, another pop-up will open. Like that, we can develop the content. So like that, we have to enable this and import the file. See, once you import, it will say that if already file exists, it will give an error. If the file does not exist, it will not give an error. So like this, you can upload one by one each content. Now, how the content will launch? So if I go to learning, so the content is configured in our item. So here, yeah. So see, launch content, which will open in a new window. While you are importing the content, if you select open in a new browser window, it will open in a new browser window. And the launch prefix is nothing but this one. So basically, it will get the data from your SAP LMS server and then followed by the content name and all. See, this is the content name. So like that, it will connect to your content server, and then from the content server, it will fetch the data and it will display that particular PDF to you. So now content. So here, the first is once you upload the content, system will give you a ID. Once you launch the training, your prefix URL plus your content ID will show the actual content. That means prefix URL is your SuccessFactors system. Your content ID is from the content server. So this is how the mechanism works in the backend, where two servers will interact with each other with these IDs and URL, and it will show the content. If you want to have the same content in your browser, like in your mobile app for SuccessFactors, you need to enable mobile access. If you don't enable mobile access, when you try to launch the content, it will say that mobile access is not enabled. We cannot launch the content. So all these settings, we are configuring it content. I'll show that screen again. See, launch URL, your SuccessFactors URL or any third-party URL. Domain is just for RBP permissions. And if you want to have mobile access, you have to enable mobile access. If you want to have offline player, you can offline player. And if you want to have a new browser, it should open in a new browser. It will open in a new browser. So the behavior of the content itself, you define while importing the content into the server.
Yeah. So when you said the security domain is based on the RBP, does that mean that we have to create the RBP first? Then the name we give to the RBP is what we give in the security domain.
What I told is that SFRBP security domain are similar kind of a structures. In EC, we call it as RBP. In our LMS, we call it as domains, security domains. So in EC RBP, you create something and you give the access, right? Like that. Even in LMS also, for each object, we create a domain, and based on that domain, we give the permissions. See, in LMS 1, external LMS, Ruchita domain, Hyderabad domain. So these are all the ones that are differentiating permissions. That's it.
I understand now. Thank you.
Anyone else have a question? Because content is important. So that's the reason I'm reiterating it. And if you want to upload multiple contents at once, this package ID comes into the picture. Let's say, for example, in one zip file, you have 10 Word documents. So you can upload using the content packages. So let's say, for example, see, I'll open existing content package. See, they have one content called basic preparedness and another content called HCM edited. So two contents into one, and you can give this access to one particular training. Both the content will appear. Like for example, if you go to learning again, so see multiple contents in one area. So rather than importing one by one, we can import as a package where for each content again an ID will generate, because ID is important when you will launch the content, right? So that's the reason each content will have one ID. So now we have created the content, but how do you associate with the training? So training an individual, one single training or one single course is nothing but your items. Item is a individual entity as a course. In that course, you have to configure what are the structures that you want to define. Like for example, it can be a content, it can be an online content, or it is a class. You have to define it as a class. So item is nothing but a single entity. So in this item, we have 4 types of classifications. So first is online, where you take up the training in user learning, where the training will launch, you take the training and the training will complete directly. That is online. Instructor-led are nothing but classes, where a room will be booked or a team meeting will be booked, and you will have an instructor who will teach that particular class to you. Or blended. Blended is nothing but instructor-led with online content, where online content will also be there and there will be a class also conducted there. So that is instructor-led with online content. And next is other. Other will be used in areas of organization where if you have field service engineers like manufacturing or pharma, those areas, what you do on the factory will give the access to LMS. For example, you have a forklift driver. So when you are teaching the forklift driver, you will give some instructions like first switch on the machine and then change this gear or put this button or enable this one. So all these things we configure it in the other section where you are the employee, you take up this other item where and you will have a observer where that observer will give you information saying that, okay, do this. Okay, if you have done this, he will mark that particular task as a completed. If you do the other one, he will make it other. So like that, the item classification, these 4 top item classifications will be useful for us in LMS. We cannot create other classifications. We can only suit our requirement with these 4 classifications online, where everything will be in the system itself. If it is an instructor led, you will have a class, you will have an instructor, they will teach you. If it is an instructor led with online content, you have to take up 2 areas, in the system also, outside the system also. If it is a other, you will have tasks where one particular observer will give you the access. So these are the 4 different types of items. So I'll show you differences between the existing ones, then I'll show you how to create one. So let's say, let's put a filter.
Tanush,
Yes.
I have one question.
Sure.
While I taken a EC training,
Mhm.
I come across like it could be two jobs you generally get. Either you need to implement or either you get an AMS project, right?
Right.
So major of the project I am currently working with SCL. So most of the projects which we have like AMS only, implementation used to be done by some other partner. So
Correct.
in a LMS prospect, we also have SCL for our employees in the like for in-house.
Internal. Mhm.
Yeah. So when we say that LMS is a third-party tool, which I read it, and you also told us that this has not been done by built by SAP itself. So what are the, like in AC generally we ask for workbooks, implementation configuration books or something like that. When we used to take a handover in terms of managing the EC or maybe other modules, specifically for LMS, when we take a handover or maybe in other way aspect, what kind of a document, standard document generally ask in a do we have any configuration workbook for this module as well?
Yes.
Or we have different other way around?
No. Same workbook, but in other modules, you will be having in an Excel sheet, but LMS configuration workbook is a document.
Is a document. Okay.
Where
Because
all the
landscape I got understand that there's a separate server along with that content server which has been there.
Yes.
But for you are saying like workbook is in a form of a Word document sort of.
See, so this is the document where you collect the information from the client and you configure, you save it here, which will be used for the configuration.
Oh.
So see, same like our implementation workbooks will be there, right? For example, EC workbook is an Excel sheet where you will have rows filled and in the other rows you need to fill it. But LMS is a Word document where you need to collect the requirement within this Word document only.
So it's a sort of basically BRD, business required document sort of, right?
Yes. In terms of that,
is it same as like I'm sorry,
no problem. Please ask.
Maybe recruitment or marketing also have, because in recruitment also we have some standard processes such like we have in LMS, right?
Yes.
So there we don't need any Excel related sort of, like we can make Excel, but somehow it's a majorly a workflows or a screen you have to just take care of.
See, initially when SAP gives the workbooks, right, basically they'll be blank. But when your organization, so because some organizations, they maintain in a Word document. For example, if you create any workflows or approval process, right, they'll give you, they kind of ask you different areas. For example, some people say BRD, where you will have the requirement and you will give the solution in a screenshots way, saying that, okay, this is the screenshot, how it looks like, and these are the
Correct.
steps. That is BRD. Some people say that technical document evaluation, where that
Correct.
technical document evaluation will be maintained in an Excel sheet. But
Okay.
all around the requirement and solution, how you want to present is same. But at the time of
Okay.
implementation, we all depend on the configuration workbooks only.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Because
Okay.
configuration workbook is really big one, and you will see have all the information that you want to capture. And if it is a
Configuration
B,
workbook, right?
yes, configuration workbook. See here, account codes.
But
If you want to,
just to thought, we have one of the customer where I'm getting engaged. Generally, like customer is saying like SF got implemented 2-3 years back, and they don't have a workbook because I think some of the vendor have not mentioned it.
Mhm.
So is there a way to retrieve those configuration workbook maybe, or maybe like not?
No. Actually, these configuration workbooks are empty workbooks SAP will give. Your implementation partner has to maintain, and then AMS support people has to maintain it.
Yeah,
If
I got it.
there is a gap between them, then definitely they will not have. But what
Okay.
generally people will use is that when your vendors will change, right? For example, now you are saying that you are the AMS support. Earlier, it
Correct.
may be Infosys or IBM. Someone
Correct.
from their team should have it actually. And if
Okay.
you are not in contact, but people in IBM, let's say, for example, AMS support earlier handled by IBM, there will be a project manager from your team, right? Like
Yes.
client team. They should
Correct.
have it.
Okay.
If they have it, you may need to look at what level it was updated, and you may
Hmm.
need to spend some time to update it to the latest versions. That's a
Okay.
regular exercise we do actually in AMS.
Correct.
For example, my client currently we are working on it, right? Whenever we do a CR, like a new change request, there
Correct.
is one particular task called configuration workbook update. If you update the workbook, send it for approval, and the approval is completed, then only you can move the change to production. Until
Correct.
then, you will not be able to move it as well. So it
Correct.
depends on the process. It's more like a process oriented approach.
Yeah, like you have to follow the standard ITL process, right?
Yes, standard ITL or SOX compliance, because some people will have SOX compliance, right? SOX compliance clearly states that all the documents related to the system must be updated before you move the change to the
Correct.
production system.
Correct. 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 I got it. I got it. Thank you so much for the clarity.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say this is an online item. So in the online item, if I go to the online content, you will see the content here. See, it's an AACC developed content and which is configured in the item. So whenever you take this training, this content will launch. This is one sample AACC content. So if I navigate from here, so I can see from the launch method, see, it's a PDF document. So content is PDF and you have attached it to an online item where that item will be assigned to the user. So you cannot assign the content directly to the user. You need to associate with an item, and item will have the properties to assign it to a user. So that's the reason, first content and then the item. So if you go back to the item, you can see assign option where you can assign it to users. And while assigning it to users also, you have some other conditions when that content has to be completed. If there is an exam within the content, because I mentioned, right, AACC or Scrum, you can make the content in a more meaningful way where you can embed the exams, you can show the pop-ups based on one selection. You can, in one slide, you can show the text, and in another side, you can show video. So like that, you can create the AACC and Scrum. When you have an exam will have a score. So for example, let's say I have one content where The score is 100. So if I achieve the 100 score, then only my item will go to completion. If I achieve 90 and the score is captured as 100, even if you complete the training, at the end of the training, that content said you have achieved 90%. But the passing mark is 100. So you will not complete the content. So like that, item will have more properties than the content. Content is basically to store a particular document, and that particular document will give an ID where we can use that ID as a configuration parameter in the item. So in this content, you can see if it is a content player, it's like you can install players, like for example, VLC, Windows Media Player, like that SAP has own content player. All the trainings that are selected with content player will be only open in that player only. If it is a document, you select document. If it is an AACC, you select an AACC. If it is a web page, you select browser. If it is a Scrum, we have 4 editions of Scrum. Scrum 1.2 is the latest edition. Whenever your new developers are doing it, it will be Scrum 1.2. Old versions are less comparative. All this Scrum and AACC, they use JavaScript to develop that content, and JavaScript developing is not up to the work of a functional consultant, right? We are not technical consultants, we are functional consultants. So your organization will have a different vendor or a different person to develop these contents in the system. So once they develop it, they will give you the file and you need to upload the file in the import content. So we have checked one online item, right? Let's open another one, how it looks like. So this is another online type where, see, external link, which was configured as browser. So if you open, go to the launch method, see, it's a link actually. So whenever you open this content, automatically it will open in a new link and this link will open in the system. So that means not only the content, you can also give the access to other web pages also, because in some trainings, they will give you some blog and they will tell you to read all the blog and then take up the training or then take up the test based on that blog. So it's a mix of different contents. It can be any of the format. Format will be different, but all we call it in LMS is content. Other things we'll discuss during the class, but initial stages are to understand what are the contents and how many contents are there in the system. And here you can see I have 218 contents in this test system. If your organization is big, you may see lakhs of records here, because every time a content is refreshed, because this year they have launched a compliance training as 2024. Next year they will revise it again. They will launch it as 2025. So you will again create one more content. So that will have a different ID. 2024 will have a different ID. So IDs will change. Content can be same, but IDs will change. Clear? Any questions as of today? Any other questions related to success factors also you can ask me.
Yeah, Tanush, you have mentioned that in order to get provision access, we need to have a certification. Is it mandatory to be through implementation partner, or I'm working
No.
for a partner for a client, and I'm not through. Someone told them when I asked about the provisional access, I got certified already, and
So
it was said that it should be through implementation partner only. Is it correct?
yes. So basically, for getting the provisioning access, you need to have a certification and client approval.
Okay, fine. Yes.
But client approval will only be given to partners, right? because
Okay.
client itself will not get the provisioning access. SAP has a very serious mandate saying that no partner will have provisioning access. Only,
Partners will have.
only partners will have, and none of the people from the client system will have provisioning access.
So we should have a dependency on partners always,
Partners
through lifetime.
always.
Even
Yes.
we have on-site consultant, still we need to depend on a third party as a partner.
The same question, SAP also come up with lot of challenges. So what they come up is to increase their revenue, they came up with gold, diamond, bronze, and silver. Okay. If you are a gold or diamond, even if you don't have a partner, you can raise an SAP ticket and SAP people will do all the provisioning type requests on behalf of you. No need to have a partner. If it is a bronze or silver, if you raise saying something that boss enable this from the provisioning, they will reject your ticket saying that please consult the partner.
So even we cannot, as a client, do you mean to say that even as a client, we cannot ask, we cannot create the ticket to SAP?
No, it depends on your license again.
Oh,
Again, this is all again AMS support, right? AMS support license with SAP. So that's the problem.
okay.
So SAP has their own way of completing customer requests, basically. But for provisioning access, it's a mandate that certification should be there, and you need to have an email from your client with the approval. And that email should trigger from the SAP manager. Their records will have who is managing your SAP systems. If that person gives the approval, then only they will give you. Whoever.
Yeah, I
40%.
have given approval for my partner, but I am not able to get that approval.
Because you are directly working with clients, so you will not be able to get it.
Yeah, I am able to give approval, but I am not able to use it for
No,
myself.
they have strict instructions. No clients will get provisioning access.
Also, I am facing a problem after getting certified in AC and time. I am unable to do the stay connect. It should be again for the partners.
Partners only.
So my
But you can
certificate is
purchase
getting
it.
expired. Pardon?
Sorry, you're a client and you
Yeah.
have learning hub license, right?
No, we didn't purchase the learning hub. We will purchase it. So
You can purchase and take it. Clients can have learning hub access and they can be stay current. Only
okay.
issue with provisioning access. That's it. Stay current, learning hub, academies, all those things will be provided to clients as well.
Yeah, good point you mentioned. Do we have academy document going to be shared during the session?
No,
LMS
learning hub.
academy.
No, we don't have the access to learning hub because we cannot download that academy document as well. I have the implementation guide, which we will share tomorrow. But
Okay.
academy is something like 96 hours of the training and job aids that they have configured in the learning hub. That we cannot download it as well because it opens in a new window and you will not have save option or record option, nothing, because SAP will not give that option to anyone, right? To get those details.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
But you have an academy in learning hub where you will see assign the course to yourself and you can take up the training, and at the end of the training also they have some job aids mentioning go to this area, go to this area, do this activity, do that activity, all those things are there. And in some of the academy you have videos as well, like how to navigate between LMS, how to create some data in LMS. You have videos as well.
Okay, thank you.
And if you any of you people have learning hub, always register for SAP groups. Every week they will conduct sessions, training sessions on each topic in SAP groups in learning hub. If you have learning hub license, you can register and they will give you a Zoom link. It will be 2 hours per week. Different topics, not only LMS, all other modules also. You have groups, you can register and Sometimes new features also they will explain. Sometimes old features also they will explain. Sometimes they will also explain how other customers are using it. That will be very useful. SAP
Yeah.
groups in Learning Hub.
So from my experience in my own company, the company subscribed to SFALC. So with this SFALC, we have access to Learning Hub and all the videos
Yes.
for all the modules. And then we also have access to trainings for admin, and you get certification as an admin when you
Yes.
do all this training. So I think that has been really helpful
Correct. Correct.
from my side.
Okay. Any other questions before we wind up today's session? Okay. Tomorrow we will share one Google Drive link where you will have all the documents related to the implementation guides, configuration workbooks, where you can download and read whenever you have time.
System access also.
System access will be provided tomorrow. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanush.
Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow at the same time.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Good night,
bye.
everybody.
Thank you, Tanush. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, I think we can start today's session. Let me share my screen. So any questions from yesterday's session? Anyone?
No, nothing much from my side.
Okay. So hope you have received the Google Drive link for the recordings and the documents. So
Yes,
in the
yes.
in the documents, so I've shared all the documents that are available in our SAP platform. So one document which will say SAP admin help, that will be the main document for the LMS. All others are basically extension to the admin guide. So if you want to look at it a specific area of understanding, these documents will give more insights, and this admin document will give you a rough idea about what is a topic and all. Okay, so I'll go back to the system. So yesterday we have discussed item classification, right? We have 4 types: online, instructor-led with online content, and others. So while creating the item, we will discuss what are the things that are required for each type of this classification. So I'll click on create new. So here, the first one is the classification. What type of item you want to select. So if you first select in online, it will ask us the language. So each and every area of LMS, we can translate it to multiple languages. So whenever the user logs in based on his logged in user language, that particular translation will show
Excuse
up.
me.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Can you please let me know how can we go to this page,
Okay.
or how did you come to this page? Sorry.
So once you
Missed it.
log in into SuccessFactors, right?
From admin side, right?
Yes, you have to search for
Learning
learning
admin.
administration.
Okay.
And then in the learning administration, left side, we are now discussing
Learning
items.
activities and
Items.
okay.
From here, you have option of adding a new item into the system.
New items.
Okay. So
What
based
does
on
item mean?
item is a course basically. One single course.
Okay, got it.
A single entity where it can be an online, it can be a class, or it can be an online with class or other apps.
Okay.
So how do we define this language? So if you have EC, each user will have their language set up based on his location of the job information. You are aware of EC, right? Within job information, we will have location where that particular job is located. So based on the location, for each candidate, language will automatically pop up in EC profile. The same language we get into our LMS system. Or if you want to change the language also, in the right side top, all the users will have an option to change the language for the entire SuccessFactors suite. So right side top and the settings page, you can see language. So
As a
here,
user or admin, we go
user
ahead
or
and change it.
admin, we can change it.
Oh,
If we change it from the settings, change language, it will be applicable to the entire HCM suite. Once you log in into SuccessFactors, all modules, this will be applicable. So based on the user's language, your label is nothing but, for example, I given one item called compliance training. So based on the label for that particular language, it will translate and it will show to the user based on that language. So, and the next one is item type. So item type is, again, it's a customized for your requirement organization where you can create your more item type. So in EC, we have pick list, right? It's a predefined drop down values. So here we call it as drop down, but we don't depend on EC pick list. We have a different area called references. You can see here, right? So this references section is basically your predefined values in all the areas of LMS. So for example, let's say learning activities. We are into learning activities, right? So learning activities, item types. Here we defined that predefined values so that in the drop down, your users, your admins can select the required option. So this item type is nothing but how it will show to the user. Like if it is a book, it will show saying that it's a book space name of the item. So if it is a certification, it will say that certification space that item name. So like that, it will show for the user. So all the drop down list will be from here. So we have an add new option, and if we want to change anything, we have a edit button next to each item. If you want to just view the item type, you can click on the view. If you want to edit it, you have the edit option here. So first of all, I'll create one new item from the add new option on top. So add new, I'll give saying that training session type. So this is for all training sessions. So if it is, what will be the grading method? Whether it's a 100 or marks kind of a thing, or it's a value based. Value based is nothing but like we have A, B, C grade methods, right? So based on your item, you can select the item type. Click on add, and that will add your drop down pick list. See, so grading option, you can give the names, like for example, 100, description, pass, completion status, and apply changes. Okay, they have not created the description. Okay, give me a moment, I'll update this one. So this search is also useful when we search for any transaction. If we are not aware, just search the same name here, you will get it. So let me open the training sessions and then the grading option. Value is 100, pass. So if the user gets still, yes. So if the user gets 100, that will give us the completion. And each and every area we have cost. So even if you want to use this item type as a costing also, you have to update the cost here. So costing we will not discuss at the initial stage because that is very different topic where we need to add the currencies and all and then formulas and all. So we will discuss at a later point. So even when the cost is there, when you use that item type, your cost center will get detected. So this is how we can create a drop down. So now look at what are the existing drop downs that we have. So if we look at, for example, let's say exam. So exam is the name, grading option was not selected, cost calculation is not selected. So if we go back to the item, all these options will be available there. So it's a predefined pick list basically. So this is for all training sessions. And next, item ID. This is the unique ID. In EC, we call external codes. In our LMS system, we call it as IDs. So each and every object or each and every field will have a different unique ID, right? Like that item ID will be also unique. So here you can give your own item ID saying that, for example, training session 2. Or if you want to maintain something like IND underscore training session 2, you can give a unique name so that even if someone tries to add with the same ID, it will give us an error saying that this ID is already exist in the system. Next, completion status. So when will be your course, your item will get the completion. So the completion status also changes based on your item classification. If it is a class, the completion will be different. If it is an online, the completion will be different. If it is a online plus an instructor led, the completion will different. So this is also a drop down. So here also we need to configure them in the system. So references, manage user learning, completion status. So basically here we will have two options. So let me open. So completed book is a label and which item type. Once you create the item type, right? All the item types will be showing here. And for example, let's say book. Book is an item type. So credit given, if it is selected, that means this particular status will be used for completion. If the credit given is not selected, that means that will be used for failed selection, failed completion. So whenever you assign a training, you need to configure what is completed, what is failed. Then only system will update that particular completion, whether it's a completed one or user has failed that particular training. So also this completion status should be applicable for surveys or not. We need to select from here itself. So if we select from here, the same survey is nothing but once the training is completed, we will trigger a survey saying that how is the training, how is the instructor, how is the content, whether you found it useful or not. Those are surveys. So we have two types of surveys. One is feedback and follow-up. So feedback is nothing but once you complete a training, this survey will trigger. Follow-up survey will be triggered after few months, like a reminder kind of a survey. So in both the surveys, you want to use this completion, you need to enable this one. So here, let's say I told you, right, credit given means it's a completion. So I'll now search for the failed one. See, course failed. So the option will not be selected. That means it's a failed one. Why we need to select completion and failed is that once we configure any content, see, we need to give the system what is the status. If the user has completed a particular training, so his record gets updated saying that certification reinstated. It's for credit or certification completed. So this will be useful for users to understand the particular training is completed. And also it means to run a report saying that, okay, what is the status of the training when we assign a training to a user. Let's say, for example, we assign a training to 1,000 users. So we can run a report with this completion status saying that how many has completed as of now. It will give us 400 or 500 and some people has failed. That itself will also create a record saying that it has failed. Again, user has to retake it. So what LMS does is that if it is completed, it will show as completed and it will be removed from his learning plan. Learning plan is nothing but all the trainings that he need to take. If it is failed, then it will create a record in the history saying that the user has failed. And again, the same record will exist in his learning plan to take it again. He had to take the particular training again until unless he get the completion. So that's the reason we use this completion status based on the item type, because books will have just a normal item type. So let me go back. So here, so each and every item type, book is the item type, audio is a type, book summary is a type. So for all of them, they have created one completion status. For all of them, we also need to configure one failed status. So if we go back to the user learning,
So we have to give two types, past and completed, past and completed failed. That's what you mean?
completed failed, yes. So you can see here, right, all the training. This is your learning plan. So here you will have learning history.
Okay.
Yeah, history. So in the history, it will show whether a particular item is passed or failed. See, completed course, completed online course, attended an event because it's an outside event.
Event.
It's an event type. Type is event and they have attended it. So like that, for each and every type, we see past course. Maybe it's an exam. So that's the reason we configure it as past. So that based on looking at the status itself, user need to understand whether he has completed it or failed it. You can filter, users can run reports like filter based on the completion dates, or he can search with an item also. So that's the reason each thing will be having a completion status as well. So if we open the details as well, you can see again the course, the content that is started, and they can again take the course if they want to retake it. So that means from the learning history also, we can navigate to the course, and if they want to take it, they can take it again. And if they want to print it, they can print the certificate. Because, for example, if you are aware, we write the deltas, right? At the end of the exam, we get a certificate and we'll download and keep it. So
Yes.
it's like that.
Okay.
So now let me go back to the learning administrator. So from the references, we created one item type, and also we have completion statuses. Both are under learning activities. So now again, going back to item. So title, what should be the title of the course? And if you want to mention in any locale, you can mention in the locale. And if you want to, what type of audience this course suits. So these are all basically to show the user what this course is about and duration of the course, how much time it will take. What will be the delivery method? Nothing but again the type. If it is an audio, you select an audio. If it is a book, you select a book. If it is a instructor-led, you select an instructor-led. And what is the source? So source again, whether it's an internal developed or you are getting from a third-party system, or if you are purchased that particular course from a different vendor, that also you can configure here. So you can see, right? Coursera, it's also a third-party LMS system. Harvard Learning, it's also a third-party system. Internal, that means your organization has built this course. So like that, see, SuccessFactors has built it, Skillsoft has built it. These are all some source where to understand, okay, where this item came from. If you want to revise a particular item in future, maybe in a year or after 2 years, you need to understand where it came from, right? So that's the reason we have this source as well. If you want to add this any additional sources, right next to it, you will have add button. You can add a source here. So that's one option of adding new sources. If you want to create other sources, again, references, go to sources. From the sources section, it's same. Click on add new, or you can edit the existing one. So even for delivery methods also same. You have a plus symbol. If you click on the plus symbol, you can directly add a new delivery method. Or if you want to, you can use references again, because all these are predefined dropdowns. So predefined dropdowns will be available in the references section. So next is credit hours. If a user completes this training, how many hours you want to credit him? Because sometimes what happens, if it is an online training, you will have a fixed time, maybe 20 minutes or 30 minutes something. But if you are giving a book, some people will read it in 1 hour, some people will read it in 2 hours. You cannot give the same credit to both of them. So that's the reason credit hours is different, duration is different. And also, some cases, one course you will have multiple contents. One is a PDF, one is a blog, one is an exam. So in those cases also duration will be more, but credit hours can be different. So that's the reason we have two different options. This credit hours is the one where we calculate how many hours he spent on the training, not on the duration. We calculate based on credit hours because this is the final output for a particular course.
It will be automatically calculated, or we need to give
it.
the credit. Okay.
We need to give it. And description of the course. So title and description are very important because once the user opens a course, it will show the title and the description. So if you want to mention anything, it's always suggestible to keep it in the description. Let's say, for example, to take up this training, you need to attend another training. Or if before you take up this training, you need to reach out to your manager and get an approval. Or any kind of instructions also we can give in the description itself. And if you want to mention, okay, if this training is completed, this goal will be achieved. You can mention that. These are just to inform the user what are the uses of this training. And if user wants to contact a person who designed this training, you can give the contact email where user can contact that person outside of the system. Don't think that again in the inside of the system. No, it's an outside. He just need to copy the email and use his Outlook or whatever it is.
Got it.
Next is axis settings. So basically, if you see you will have the headings as well. So course information, axis settings. So what access you want to provide? So if it is an Indian domain, you need to give India. If it is in public domain, you have to give public. So if it is in India, we can control the permissions to the users based on the domain. So active means the course is available for take up. And in future, if you want to, if you think that this course is no longer required, then you can make it inactive. There is no option of delete because once you take that, create the course and you assign it to the users, they will have completion, they will have credit hours, they will have lot of tie-up with the item. So that's the reason we don't delete anything. It's not if at any point of time, it's not suggestible to delete anything. It's always better to inactivate it so that new users will not see this course again.
Okay.
And in some cases, what happens this year you created a training, next year you will get another revised version. Either you can modify the content or you can inactivate this version and create a new one. So that cases also we usually get the active status. In AMS support environments, every 6 months or every 1 year, whatever your SME or admin, they will do the cleanup activity. Because if you don't do the cleanup activity, your items will pile up, and with the same name or with the same content, you may get different items in the system, which will cause a lot of confusion. So in those cases, they will tell you that we don't want these items no longer in the system. You can inactivate them by coming here.
Okay.
And available in the library. This will be always selected by to yes, because if it is part of the library, then only users will be able to see it. If it is not part of the library, then users will not be able to see that item, because if you want to take up a course, that course should be there in their account, right? That account is nothing but the library. Next is registration settings. So this registration settings only applicable when it is a instructor-led or instructor-led with online content. Because online courses, any number of users can take that course. There is no restriction in that. You can create one item, and if you are having an employee strength of 2 lakhs, yes, the 2 lakhs people can take that training. But when it comes to the instructor-led, there will be limitation, right? One instructor cannot teach 1,000 people at once. So here we give how many enrollments for that particular training. So you can give 30 and you can give 50 as a maximum enrollment. So minimum should be 30 and maximum should be 50. Why we give minimum is that once the registrations reach 30, they will schedule the class. And once it reaches the 50 stage, no longer applications will be accepted. It's like our competitive exams that we handle, right? It will say that before this date or before this number of applications only they will accept, or else it will not accept. So like that, minimum enrollments and maximum enrollments we will do. This minimum enrollments and maximum enrollments also depend
Can
on
we give any number to minimum and
yes,
maximum
any
enrolled,
number,
or any number, right?
any number.
Okay, got it.
There is no restriction in that, because it depends on your instructor, it depends on the room that you are giving, it depends on the conference you are giving. So it's up to them.
Yeah.
So this minimum and maximum enrollments is also useful when you book one room and then take that class in that room. So that room will have some capacity, right? So based on that capacity itself, admins will configure this particular maximum and minimum enrollments.
Got it.
And also there is an interconnection with user can waitlist. It's nothing but it's like our train booking, where it will reach the maximum enrollment, and all other registrations, it will be on waitlist. If someone cancels it, waitlist will come into confirmation. If we disable, user can waitlist. If we disable it, and if it reaches 50, no longer it will accept the applications. So no 51 application. But if you enable this one, 51, 52, 53 applications also it will take, but it will say to the user saying that, boss, you are on waitlist. If anyone cancels, then he will be confirmed automatically. If this is selected, auto enroll from waitlist. If it is selected yes, automatic cancellations or people from waitlist will move to confirmation. If it is selected yes, if it is no, then again admin or the teacher, in teacher is nothing but the instructor, has to confirm their waitlist. So these minimum enrollments, maximum enrollments, waitlist are interconnected. And next is prevent multiple class registration interval. So let's say I have a class. Today I have a session for 2 hours. Tomorrow I have a session for 2 hours. Same class. I have more than 200 participants and I can only teach 30 participants at once. So what I do, I split the classes into multiple days and ask them to register. But some people will, what they will do, they will register in all the classes, and at the last moment, they will cancel some classes and they will attend only 1 or 2. So to prevent that last minute cancellations, we give this days. So let's say, for example, 2. So I have a class today and I have a class tomorrow and I have a class on 7th. I have a class on 8th. If I am registered for 5th, I'll not be able to register for 6th and 7th. So 2 days interval, it will take the 2 days interval and I can register for 8th. So like that we can control. So based on this class schedule, you have to give the number of days here. If it is a weekly, you give 7 days. So that at least you can control the number of registrations based on this interval. If you don't have that option, people will register, they will cancel at the last moment itself. That will cause less participants in a class. So that's the reason we have this prevent option to control the registrations. Next, user can self-register. So in the learning site, user can self-register for a class from the learning section. If this option is enabled. If this is disabled, then admin has to register the user on a class. So they need to reach out to admin and then admin registers for a class. Manager can register. So our manager can register us into the classes. User can request a class. Let's say, for example, today there is a class and you are not able to attend it. So you want to have a class maybe next week. You can request the admin to have a session on next week. If you enable this one, they will get an option to give the details when you want the class to be scheduled. You can give the date and which location you want to have the class. You can enter the location as well. If it is enabled, if it is not enabled, if the class is there, they can register. If the class is not there, they will not be able to register. Next, unregistered user can access online content. This particular setting is only applicable with instructor-led with online content classification, because if the user is not registered on the class and if you enable it, they can still access the online content. If you disable it, then if they register the class, then only they'll be able to access the online content. So
register, unregister means attended or not attended, or just enrolled or not enrolled?
Enrolled.
Okay.
Attendance
Even
will
if
be
I
on
don't
the day.
enroll, even if I don't enroll, I can access the
Online
content.
content. If you enable it, first you need to enroll and then access the online content. So best example is you have an instructor-led class where At the end of the instructor-led class, we will have an exam.
Okay.
So before exam itself, you need to have some guide or some document, right, to prepare yourself. So in
Yes.
those cases, we use this instructor-led with online content.
Okay.
Next, approval process related. So if to attend this training, if you want approval to trigger to your manager or HRBP or HR manager or anyone in the system, basically, you can enable approval required is yes. So before registering itself, it will ask for the approval. Once the approval is completed, then only it will take the registration. If it is a instructor-led. If it is an online content, you need to first get the approval, then only you can open the content. So this approval step will be different for each item. So we can create our own approval process using plus symbol. So here you can see process ID, process name, security domain, owner, comments, version. So before this, first I'll show existing ones, which will be. So again, references, system administration, approval process. One-step supervisor. So if I open the one-step supervisor, you go to approval steps and you can see supervisor. So your manager will be the approver. Click on edit. So supervisor manager level 1. So step name is supervisor. So if you want multiple approvals, you can create number of steps. You can create more steps. If it is based on the hierarchy, you use approval role. So approval roles are nothing but your org chart people. Basically your line manager or line manager +1, or if you have a recruiter or HRBP maintained your job information, that also you can use it here. So first, what is a role? Role is nothing but a person. It can be a supervisor or other levels or anyone in the system like HRBP, human resource, instructor, finance, employee, CEO, CFO. So all the roles you have to create in the system. So add new, you have to give the name of the role. So let's say, for example, CTO, technical officer. That's it. You just created one role. Now we need to create an approval process. So create an approval process, CTO approval. CTO approval. Oh, if this approval has some owner, like it comes, this approval process will be taken care by some people in your organization. You can give the user owner's email. So click on next. Here you can see approval roles. Click on add or one more, and it will give a one more pop-up for the approval roles, and you can select multiple people. So chief financial officer, technical officer. So it will go to 2 steps, and you can give saying that high level approval. So the first, it will go to either chief financial officer or technical officer has to give the approval. Approval
How does
process.
system identify the person in this role?
Yes, I'll tell you that. We need to get those data from our employee central for each employee. So your approval process is there and you can edit. So here, before going to that, each user, when we get the data from Employee Central, we get these roles as well. So when a user record is created in LMS, it will ask for the manager. And if you want to have other people also, you can use other people's, see, approval roles. You can give that role ID and bring them from our Employee Central Each person, if it is a CTO, who is the CTO of Megan? You need to bring that in the file from EC to LMS. We'll discuss that later because that is a all different topic. And if you want to maintain alternate managers like HRBPs or HRs, you can also maintain the alternate managers. Because see, manager is Richardson, but HRBP is so and so person. Or if you want to see that you want to add one more person, direct reports. So like that, we can maintain up to 200 people in the system. That means your entire EC org chart can be maintained here from you to the top level. The only thing is that when we are getting the data from EC, we need to map them whether HR business partner or a manager or a recruiter or a CTO or CEO. So let me go back to approval process. So that is one step approval we have. Yes.
But it can be based on the employee relationship, isn't it? A reporting relationship.
Yeah,
First
org
manager,
chart
second
relationship.
manager, third manager, or chart relationship. Or can we do it with position relationship also? We have something called position management.
Yes,
and
it depends on your structure of position. In EC, some people use org chart based it. Some people use position org chart basis. So whatever the relationship your EC team has built, that relationship you can get it. So next is two-step approval process. So here, supervisor level 2 will get the approval. And let me open any other ones. Okay, multi-level approval. So here, step 1 will go to a particular user and step 2 will go to a different user. So at the time of creation of the approval process itself, if you want to use based on the org chart, you can use it. Or if you want to use to a particular single person, then also you have the option of entering a particular user ID. So whenever the approval get triggered, always it will go to this person only. So it's basically static and dynamic approval process. See, whenever an item with CTO approval process is triggered, it will always go to Rachna. It can be that user can be from any department or entire organization, any person. It always goes to Rachna only. So this is best example when you have finance related courses where your finance team has to approve, and finance team, there will be 1 or 2 people managing it, right? So in those cases, we give a direct users place in the approval process. No need of org chart based approval person. So that way we can create the approval process and then assign it to a particular item. So first of all, you need to select approval required, yes, and then select your approval process. And for example, let's say you have the approval, you got into the system, you got the access and everything for a particular item, and you think that, okay, I no longer want this particular item. And then you can withdraw from that particular online item or an instructor light item. Then also approval process will trigger. This withdraw approval process is more useful when you have costing for items, because when approval is required is done and your costing is already calculated for that course and you no longer want to attend the course, that means your cost center should not be charged, right? Because you are not taken the course. So that's the reason this withdraw approval process will go to that people who manages your invoices or billing information, so that they will be aware saying that, okay, this user initially registered, but later decided that he no longer wanted it. So they will not charge you for that. So the approval process is same. The same approval process you can create, and you can use the same, or if you want to have a different process for withdraw, you can create a new approval process. Next is course rating. So if you enable the user can rate, once the course is completed, it will ask the user to provide a rating. It will be star based. He can provide 3, 5. It's up to him. It will be 5 stars will be there, starts from 1 to 5. If you disable that, system will not ask the user to rate the particular course. Include user ratings from previous revision. So revision, what is a revision? So revision is nothing but you have a course and that course content has been changed at a later point, maybe after 3 months or 6 months. You don't want a new course to be created with the new version. So what we can do is that in the existing item itself, we can create a version 2. So that version 1 will be there and version 2 will also be there. Version 1 will be taken by the users who already the training is assigned, and version 2 will be assigned to the users who getting registered now itself. That means version 1 and version 2 both will sit in the system. It's only that it will affect old people and it will affect the new people. So if you give the rating for one version, it will take for the other one. Clear? Any questions? So next,
No,
yes.
nothing.
Okay. Next is assignments. So assignments is nothing but, let's say for example, I want a course which will be assigned today and he has to complete within 30 days. So in the assignment section, we can configure saying that based on the calendar, the initial period is 30 days. So today, if the course is assigned to any user, it will give 30 days of time and it will show that within this 30-day period, he has to complete it. If it is an event based, it depends on the user's action. For example, let's say hire date. Hiring is an event, right? So based on his hire date, he has to complete within 30 days. So retraining. So you have completed a course and you want the users to retake the course after a certain period. So again, so based on your completion date plus 90 days, again the training will be automatically assigned to you for the retraining. So that means you need to retake the training again. So this example, retraining courses will be most useful for these compliance courses in the system, like legal courses or IT courses, which they need to every quarter or every half yearly, every 1 year, they need to have the users take the training again and again. Even if they have completed, they need to retake the course again. So in those cases, this retraining will be used. If you don't want, you can keep it blank because these are all non-required fields only. Nothing is a required field. And next is assignment type. So assignment type is nothing but whether this course is required or it's just a recommendation or it's an optional course or it's a new hire training course or your manager has requested for this course. Manager required. This is related to health and safety training. So all these will be again kind of an information on a particular item. Why this course is required for him, why this course has options for him. So all these things you can configure and user will be able to see it. So assignment type. So if you want to create a new assignment types, you have the plus symbol again, you can create. If it is a required assignment type, you have to select it and you can also mention the priority. How much priority? Because when you assign 10 or 20 courses, you want 1 or 2 courses to be priority to be taken within 1 or 2 days. So you need to mention that priority, which will display to the user. So if you want to create more assignment types, again from references, manage user learning assignment types. Users can remove non-required items. So when you create an assignment type, you select whether it's a required or not required. If it is a not required and you have assigned the training and you enable this option, then users can remove that from their learning plan. They don't want it, they can remove it. If you disable this one, if they want to remove it, they'll not be able to remove it. They need to reach out to admin and admin have to remove it with a proper reason. So next is completion related. So auto record competency rating on item completion. So as I mentioned earlier, each item we can configure competencies, which we will discuss later. So if we enable this one, that competency rating will also get completed. If we disable that one, the competency rating is not connected to this particular item. Require e-signature. This is an additional step, additional authentication layer basically. Each user will be having a 4-digit unique password. So at the end of the training, he will be asked to enter that password. If he enters the correct password, then only that particular training gets completed. So it's kind of an additional authentication so that user has not given his system access to someone and asked the training. Next, user can add to learning history. So if you complete the training, it will be added into the learning history. Managers can add to the learning history. So in our user learning, we have the option of adding the history for a particular user. You can select the item, you can add the history. He no need to take the training, but directly manager can give that history as completed. And once your training is completed, a certificate will generate, right? What is that certificate? So that certificate name, we can configure it here. Where we configure the certificate, we'll discuss later because that's a more in-depth topic. So when this course was created, this is for the admin purpose only. These details will not be shown to users. When this was created, who created it, what is the number, what is the date, it's just kind of a bookkeeping purpose to understand who created this course. Course preparation. If you want to say that before you take up this course, you need to look at these materials. You can give those links or you can give those SharePoint links from your organization. You can keep it. And instructor materials. If you want to have some materials for the instructor who is a teacher, you can give those material links here. And how much preparation time is needed to complete this course. Like these are all before starting the course. And this is lesson is nothing but our chapters in the book. What is this particular item is belongs to. Next, if you want to have some custom fields like in EC we configure custom fields, right? Or in any other modules, the given options by SAP is not sufficient. We want to have a new custom fields we can create. And at the end, again, administrative use only where you will add all these related to the maintenance of this particular item. Who approved it, whether it is safety related, if it is approved, what is the approved date. If orders are nothing but again, it's like our shopping accounts. If the costing is there, it will create a order and it will give you an invoice and that invoice will be used for your tracking purpose. So if the costing is there, we have to enable the orders. If there is a shipping required, if there are some materials that they will post, then they will say that shipping is required. So these are all administrative purpose. Now we have seen different options, right? Where we see these options as a user. So once I go to learning again, so title of the course, what is the type of the course, when is the due date, the calendar days we add it, right? When is the due date, description of the course, ID, what is the version, who assigned it, when it was assigned, and in the online content section, you will see the content. So all the things that you configured at the item level, users will be able to see it from this section. So let's pick up one more item where we can see the details. I told about rating, right? The current rating of this course is 4.75 out of 5. And what is this type of course? External course. If it is a costing involved, if you have a cost, it will say that it's a paid one. If the cost is not there, it will say free. And you can see the description and you can see the details. So now I'll copy this item and I will show you from the administration side. So I've copied the item ID and I will search that item ID in the ID section. See, it's an active course. It's an external course. It was revised online. Title is there. They have not maintained delivery method, but they have maintained the description. Security domain, status, user can request, manager can register, user can register. All these are maintained. See, user can rate. So some of the details are enabled. See, when is the creation of the item? It's in 2016. So some details are maintained, some details are not maintained because nothing is mandatory here. If it is a mandatory, it will give a star mark next to it. If it is not a mandatory, it's up to your organization's requirement whether you want to configure it or you don't want to configure it. So let's say I'll show one class. So it's an instructor led and type is course, duration, credit hours, delivery method instructor led, and you see minimum enrollments, maximum enrollments, auto enroll, all these are enabled and no approval process. And it's based on event 30 days. And it's a assignment as required. So creation date, all these details are again maintained. So now if I take this course from the user learning point, we will understand how an instructor led will look like. So again, I'm going here and going into the library. See, Currently, no scheduled classes are available, and all other details you can see here. And also you can see a request a class. So if I click on request a class, it will ask for when you need it, which region you need it, and which location you need it. And you can put the comment saying that I'm not able to attend the earlier one, or we have 10 people and we want a different class. You can mention these details, which will trigger to the contact email person. So if there are classes, automatically it will say that register. If there are no classes, it will say that request for a class. So there are no classes scheduled. So I'll show for that. So this is one sample of a course with online content and the class as well. So I can assign it to myself. I can request, or if I want to recommend to my friend, I can recommend as well.
So that send to me option only available if that on item.
Self-register. User can self-register.
And one more question: while creating item, we gone through multiple fields, right? So is it standard, or it's that all the fields or pages customized? We can customize.
No, it's all standard except the custom fields section. All are standard only.
Just like eSIM portlet, we configure, right? Multiple fields.
Yes.
So this is
Here we don't need to configure anything. This page is provided by SAP, and we cannot remove any particular option as well.
And even we
It's a
cannot
fixed feature.
also, right?
Sorry?
That
Even we
mandatory, yes, mandatory option also we cannot change it.
We can change it. That's a different topic. Anyhow, you asked, right? This is entity configuration. So any field you want to display or you don't want to display, you can mention and make it required or not required. But we cannot delete a field, or we cannot change a particular field's backend calculation. So if you want make it a required field, you need to select as required. Let's say credit hours. Select.
Fine.
Okay. And also we have status like active, inactive, right?
Yes.
So there is no effective dated concept here.
No, there is no effective dated entries in LMS.
How to identify that item is got inactivated from this specific date?
We have audit reports where we can run the audit report when that was inactivated.
Okay.
Like in EC, we don't have history and all here. We cannot go and check the history of the particular item. We don't have that option.
So for example, if I change the status now from active to inactive, immediately it will just will not be available to all the users, right? Once
yes.
Thank you.
But one thing we need to make a note of it is that before making it inactive, you need to run some reports to understand whether this particular course is assigned to someone or not. Because if it is assigned to someone and that particular person remembers it and they want to take it up in future and suddenly comes and says that, okay, this course is not showing in my plan, they will definitely create a top support ticket. So whenever a course is getting inactivated, there are other options as well where we need to inform the users, run a reports to check how many users still having the course is assigned. Let's say, for example, you want to deactivate one legal entity in Employee Center, right? You cannot directly go and deactivate a legal entity. You need to check the impact first. That impact is nothing but assignments.
Do the reporting first. If that is available for any other user, and then we can just deactivate. Similarly, we can check-in reporting also.
Some organizations will reach out to the user saying that we are inactive.
Hello, I think we lost.
And they will inactivate it. They will not reach out to the users.
Okay, thank you.
Tanush, are we going to get the access on the system? Hello?
I think he got dropped out
Yeah.
for a couple of minutes.
Sorry, suddenly my Zoom meeting window has gone.
Okay. Tanush, we need to get the access to the system, isn't it?
Yes. You have received the documents and the access will be provided tomorrow in the early hours itself. We are
Okay.
working on it, so we will provide as soon as possible. Any other questions?
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
I think that's it for today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. We'll meet tomorrow in that case.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.